This video tutorial will show you how to make basic changes to an inspection and create your own templates. To get started, we're going to start a new inspection in Palmtech and choose the template that we want to modify. For this tutorial, we'll be working with the house template, so we'll select house from our top templates and click on Start New. This brings up the main Palmtech program, and the first thing we need to do is give this inspection file a name. We'll call it Test, and we'll click on Save. And now we're looking at the main Palmtech screen and we're ready to get started. Most inspectors like to change the templates to really fit how they inspect. They like to rearrange the order of items, add new lines and sections in, take lines and sections out, and we'll be taking a look at how to do each of these. First off, we'll take a look at how to rearrange the categories. So let's say that you like to inspect the roof as soon as you arrive at a property. And because of that, we actually want to move roof to be the first category in the list below general information. So to do this, all we have to do is click on roof, hold it in, and then drag and drop it to where we want it to go. And as you can see, there's a gray line that shows up, and this just tells you exactly where the category will be moved to. Once we let go, we've now moved the location of roof. We can do the same thing with all the other categories as well. So let's say we wanted to move heating system up one. We can do it using the same process. Another change inspectors like to make is to rename their categories. Let's say we want to rename the garage carport category to say just garage. And we can do this by going up to Tools, Rename Category. And here, all we have to do is simply make the change that we want. In this case, we'll just take out the slash in carport, so it says just garage. We'll click on OK, and now the change has been made. Another change you can make is actually delete categories out from the inspection. So let's say you don't inspect outbuildings. All we have to do to remove a category is simply right-click on that category and then select Delete. You'll get a message that says, are you sure you want to delete this category? We'll click on Yes, and now the category has been removed. The last change we'll be taking a look at with categories is how to add one in. A common change that inspectors make is they'll actually add in their inspection agreement. And so to do this, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go up to Tools, Add Category. We'll get a message that says, do you want to copy an existing category? And this can be very helpful at times, but in this case, with the inspection agreement, we want to start with the clean blank category, so we're going to click on No. Now, we get to name our category, so we'll type in Inspection Agreement. And we have a checkbox here that says use line numbers and ratings in printed report. Again, a lot of times you actually want to leave this checked, but for the inspection agreement, we don't need line numbers or ratings in this section. So we'll uncheck it and we'll click on OK. Here we select where we want it to show up from an order standpoint. We'll just say Insert at Top, click OK, and we now have our inspection agreement category. And when we click on it, we'll notice that it's empty. To add in our agreement, we're going to go back to Tools. So we're going to select Tools, and now we want to add in a component. Here we have a list of all the different components that you can add in. So we're going to select Inspection Agreement. We're going to click on OK, and our agreement has now been added. For more information on how to modify the agreement once it's been added in, see the tutorial titled Adding an Inspection Agreement. And so with that, that's a look at how you work with categories. Now, let's take a look at working with lines. And to do this, we're going to go to our Lots and Grounds category. Let's say that the first thing you inspect when you're doing the Lots and Grounds are the fences. So what we want to do is we want to move our fences line, so it's the first line in this section. Moving lines is very similar to moving categories. All you have to do is you just left click and then hold your mouse on the green circle at the left of the line, and then you just drag and you move it to where you want it to show up. You have a gray line showing you exactly where it's going to go, and once you let go, it'll move the line and drop it in that exact spot. You can rename a line by simply double-clicking on the item text right here. So let's say we wanted to rename Steps and Stoops, so it said just Steps. All we have to do is just double-click on the prompt, and now we can modify it however we want. So we'll take off the Stoops part, leave it so it says just Steps, and now when we click on OK, we'll see that the change is made and we have steps here. If you don't inspect lawn sprinklers, which we have here at the bottom, we can remove it from the report, and we can do this by right-clicking on the green circle and then selecting Delete Line. It's going to ask you if you're sure you want to delete this. We'll click on Yes, and now the line has been removed from this inspection. Finally, we can add in new lines. And to add in a new line, we're going to go up to Tools, Add Line. And from here, we can choose from several different line types by clicking on the Type dropdown. First, we have one question and answer, which is the most commonly used line type. But if you go to General Information, you'll see that we have lines with 2 questions and answers, as well as 3 questions and answers. After that, we have a yes/no option. You can add in just a standalone note, which is just a note on the line by itself. You can add in a series of checkboxes, an option list, a text piece, which is just a spot where you can enter text that will either show up on screen, on the printed report, or both, a page break, a signature line, which is a spot where you can collect an electronic signature, and then finally, you have a rating, prompt, and no, and it's exactly what it says. It's a line that's going to have a rating, then a prompt, and then just a note. So it's very similar to the lines we've already looked at, but it doesn't have a spot for a description. Let's say for this line we want to add in, it's going to be one question answer. So we'll click on that, and now really all we have to do at this point is give the item a name. So for the screen prompt, we'll say we're going to add in a new line for fountain. So we'll type in fountain. On the right, we just choose where we want to show up. Let's say we want fountain to show up right after vegetation. We'll highlight vegetation, and we'll click on OK. And now, you'll notice we have a new line underneath vegetation for fountain. We've now taken a look at how to rearrange items, how to add and delete items, and how to rename them to make the inspection really look the way you want, to set it up to be what's going to be most efficient for you. The last step after you make all your changes in creating your template is to go up to Tools, Save as Template. So we'll go to Tools, Save as Template, and what this will allow us to do once we're finished is to make it so next time you go to start a new inspection, you have your own new customized template to work with, and it's going to have all the changes you've made already done. So we'll click on Save Template, and the first window that appears asks if we want to erase the data that has been entered before creating the new template. This means that somewhere in the template we have an answer typed in, so in this case we actually want to click yes. We want to clear everything out. Now, one thing that's important to mention is that oftentimes inspectors will pre-fill answers and make those answers part of their standard template. So if this is something you'd like to do, then all you have to do is simply fill out the information, set it up how you'd like, and then when you get to this screen right here, you actually click on no, then all the answers and information that you enter in will be there when you start a new inspection. Again, for this tutorial, we'll be clicking on yes, so let's click on yes. This next screen, we can actually give our template a name. So let's go ahead, we're going to call this Adams Master Template. You can change the template name as well as the template description, but once you're done, you have it set up, we'll click on OK, and it lets you know the inspection has been saved as a template, and it's going to ask you, do you want to send this to your cloud drive? Now, if you click on yes, what it's going to do is going to send this newly created template to your cloud drive so that you can then use it on any mobile device that you may be using. For this tutorial, we'll actually be clicking on no. We don't want to send it to our cloud drive, so we'll click on no. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go up to File, New, we're going to go to Start a New Inspection, and we'll see that on our Choose Template screen, we now have the option for Adams Master Template. So let's go ahead and select it, and we'll click on OK. And you'll notice that with this new inspection we just started, all those changes we made are now there. So we have roof right underneath general information, we have our inspection agreement in there, in lots and grounds, we have our fountain line, and we have fences first. This concludes the Creating Your Own Template tutorial.